So we opened up Raw with Dean Ambrose. His music played. He was out there on his own. No Shield brethren. And Kathy Kelly is in the ring awaiting an interview for him. And Dean played pretty heavily into the whole turning on the Shield thing here. He said there's a lot of truth to everything that Braun, Drew, and Dolph were saying last week. And, he's thought about leaving the Shield and all this other stuff that led you to believe that he will eventually turn on the Shield. But in the end, he did say that the Shield stands strong together and tried to kind of put it back together in the end there. Baron Corbin came out, and Dean called him a substitute teacher, again.
Which is still funny.
It got less funny the second week, I gotta be honest.
You're less funny.
Oh, I'm sorry. But Corbin gave Dean 3 options, and this was pretty fascinating. He gave him the option that he could either face Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title, or he could face Roman Reigns for the Universal title, or he could face Braun Strowman. And those were his 3 options.
Which I was surprised he gave him 3.
Yeah. Yeah, it was clear what he was trying to do here, trying to turn them against each other, just to see if Ambrose would bite on the opportunity at either of those titles. But Dean said he wants secret option number 4, which is a match with Baron Corbin. And Corbin just said, well, I guess I made your choice for you. Here's Braun Strowman.
Which I think we all saw coming anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that was clearly what was going to end up happening anyway. It felt like it would have been pretty anticlimactic if the turn for Ambrose was just getting that title match on that show. So I don't think anyone really expected that. But we got Braun versus Dean as the opening match. So there wasn't a lot to this match early. Braun worked some rest holds early, which it's just so weird seeing Braun Strowman work headlocks and things like that when we're very used to his matches not really having that sort of stuff.
No.
But now he's a heel, so you gotta be a heel, and in WWE being a heel is working rest holds.
Yep, running the clock.
Yeah, that sets up for the comeback for Dean later. Dean got some shots in on the leg on Braun. Did a dive to the outside. Eventually, Braun got back control, beat on Dean on the outside, threw him into the ring, and he hit the power slam. And he was lifting him up for another one when Roman Reigns' music hits. And he goes after Braun, but Braun would catch him. And then Seth would come down to make it 2-on-1. Seth hits the running knee on Strowman. And Roman and Seth force Strowman out of the ring. And Dolph and Drew come out from the back after that to be with Strowman on the stage. And Corbin would come out to announce that it would be Seth versus Drew for later in the night, and it would be Roman Reigns versus Dolph Ziggler right now.
Did you catch the that first slam by Strowman? He didn't even do a running power slam.
No,
he just dropped.
He does some of them like that. Like sometimes he gets the running start, and then sometimes he just picks him up and drops him down.
It's like he's ticked off, so he's not even going to try moving. He's just going to slam him.
Yeah.
It didn't look as good as it normally does.
Yeah, it definitely looks better when you do the running version, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like they don't want it to look as good so that people don't like it as much and don't want to cheer it. I mean, I don't know.
They're going to cheer Braun no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they were pretty over Braun, though, at this point. It's just like he was hot for a while, but now that they've turned him, I feel like it's actually cooled him off. I mean, unless he's in the ring with Roman, then obviously they're going to cheer him. But other than that, he just feels like he's getting more flat reactions than anything.
Well, better than negative.
Well,
not really.
Yeah, if you're a heel, you want the negative reaction. But Braun, I don't really feel like people are too into this at the moment.
I think it'll be over once Saturday's done.
We can only hope. But I'm not sure after all this that they'll be able to just turn Braun back babyface.
No, I think they'll just let him go off on his own, do what he wants, like he has been.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they did not capture what they had with him when he was a face. But we'll move on. We went to a break after that, and we came back and had Seth and Dean in the trainer's room as Dean was getting looked at. Rollins comes in, and Dean says that, he could have beat Strowman, and Rollins is just trying to console Ambrose a bit. And Dean gets pissed off at this and tells Seth that I could be an Intercontinental Champion right now.
Yeah.
Furthering the wedge between these three.
And he could, because if you think about it,
if he chose the match.
Yeah.
With Seth, he could have been.
Because, Strowman, Ziggler, and McIntyre would have made sure he won.
Yeah. Definitely worked within the confines of that story. Continued to further Seth and Dean and Roman from each other. And then after that, we get back to the ring, and all of a sudden the referee is holding up the Universal title.
So
I guess during the commercial, Roman himself made this a championship match.
Well, the way Corbin said it, you really didn't know if it was a title match or not.
Well, he never said it was, so that normally means it's not. But yeah. I guess Roman, on his own merit, just decided that he'll put the title up for no reason.
Makes for good TV.
Which just seems dumb, but baby faces are stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'll put my title against you even though I don't have to. But, that's typical stuff. Nothing really major about it. But Corbin comes back out and he says that Roman does not get to make championship matches. Only Corbin does. And he tells Roman that he's not putting that title on the line until the Saudi Arabia show and the triple threat match against Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar.
Which should not be a triple threat. It should be him and Strowman. That's it.
Yeah, but I've seen enough of Roman versus Braun at this point.
Well, we just need one more match just so Braun can get that damn title off of him.
Yeah.
We don't need Brock in the mix.
But it's not happening.
I know.
Roman's going to win there, too.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so we had the Roman versus Dolph match. Dolph Corbin, after he made the announcement, says to ring the bell. The ref rings the bell, and right away Dolph gets the jump on Roman, and he takes control of the early parts of the match. Hit a jumping DDT on the outside to Roman, and eventually Roman would make his comeback. He would go for a Samoan drop, but Dolph raked the eyes and out of the sight of the referee, I guess. The referee was kind of behind them, so couldn't see it. And Dolph goes for the sweet chin music with Shawn Michaels being advertised later in the show. We had Dolph doing his impersonation.
But at least Dolph is consistent and does it every time.
Yes. So Roman countered that with a Superman punch. Dolph kicked out. Roman went for a spear, but Dolph countered it into a sunset flip. And, oh yeah, this is where the production kind of just messed up, because while the finish is happening, we get a shot of the freaking fans.
Yeah.
And it cuts back to the ring, and then out of nowhere, Roman is bouncing off the ropes and hits a spear, which Dolph sold this great. This was a really good spear.
Yeah, it was.
It looked like Christian Goldberg sorts of vibes there. Dolph really got up there and took it very well.
He made Reigns look good.
Yes, which is the ultimate goal in every match that even doesn't involve Roman. But on the replay, you could see that Dolph and Roman's heads kind of collide, like they both tried to headbutt each other, and then Roman bounced off the ropes and hit the spear. So that was the finish that we didn't see. And after that, we had Ronda Rousey in a singles match against Ruby Riott. Which, I feel like this was a waste of what could have been a marquee match at some point later. I feel like we really should have saved Ruby Riott for a later match with Ronda in a one-on-one sort of circumstance.
Definitely. It was too early.
Yeah. And I'm really, like, as much as I love Ronda, she's one of my favorites right now, I'm totally falling in love with Ruby Riott, too. She is incredible.
And I like the tan going on.
She looked very good in this match. She's definitely someone that I would like to see get a better position, and I think she could be someone that should challenge Ronda for the title later down the line. But this didn't really help that case. We had the Bellas in Ronda Rousey's corner, and the Riott Squad, including Liv Morgan, out there in Ruby Riott's corner.
Yeah. But at least, she didn't get knocked out.
No.
Brie wasn't involved in the match. So.
She definitely wasn't going to be competing tonight.
No.
I'm curious, though, if she is going to be okay to wrestle on Saturday's show.
I'm curious because they said she would.
They didn't really hint towards anything else, so I'm wondering if they know that she'll be ready yet, or if they might have to make a last-minute replacement or anything like that. But regardless, they cut to a promo from earlier as the Riott Squad made their entrance of the Riott Squad, and they said it would be beautiful when Ruby gives Ronda her first loss. All that. And the match started off quickly with Ronda taking the offense, throwing Ruby Riott around like she is one to do to everyone with the judo throws and whatnot.
Because that's like the only throw that she knows how to do.
Yeah, she does that a lot. But Ruby would eventually take control and pull Ronda face first into the post on the outside. Eventually, Ronda would do her typical firing up stuff, hitting the rapid fire punches. She hit a gut wrench powerbomb, the Samoan drop that isn't a Samoan drop.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
The Rousey drop?
Yeah, it's not a bad name. And she does that, gets the armbar, quick tap by Ruby Riott.
Yeah. It wasn't much of a match, really. Just a little warm-up, I guess.
It wasn't a bad match. It didn't go entirely long, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was okay. It was a pretty good match, just nothing major.
But I don't get the booking behind this. That now we've seen. I don't know who it was that. I think the Bellas, when they teamed up a few weeks ago, beat like Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Something like that.
Yeah.
And now we've already seen Ronda beat Ruby one-on-one. So I'm not really sure like what's enticing us to see their match at Super Showdown when the baby faces have already beat them.
Yeah. What's the point?
And like I said, I feel like Ruby Riott should be set up to be the next challenger for Ronda. Doesn't appear like that will be in the plans, at least at this moment, with how they handled this here.
No, I think they're going to push Nikki before anybody.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Nikki versus Ronda at Evolution.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Maybe we'll get Ruby versus Ronda after that at some point.
Yeah, we need to go back to Reigns and Ziggler just a second. I saw when Ziggler did the roll-up on Reigns, he had his tights. The ref looked directly at Ziggler holding the tights and kept counting. Why is that? He saw it. There's no way around.
I do remember that. That was It wasn't in the finish because he did the sunset flip, but before that he did like the schoolboy and had his pants or whatever. But yeah,
but the ref looked right at it.
Yeah, that's whatever. All right, we'll keep moving though. Up next, we had Bobby Roode and Chad Gable out. The slowly rising team.
Yeah, but they're getting there.
Losses to the Ascension isn't going to help them, but you know. So we had Bobby Roode versus Connor of the Ascension. This was the second week in a row that we see Connor in one-on-one action. Last week he beats Chad Gable, and this week he beats Bobby Roode.
And I'm again impressed with Connor.
I can't say the same, honestly.
It's just because I'm not used to him being on his own in singles matches and winning anything.
Yeah, I mean, Connor was fine, I guess. I didn't really have any sort of notes from this match. Not a whole lot really happens. Connor won with the Dominator sort of thing.
But the best part was with Gable on the stairs. At the end of the match.
Gable's on the stairs doing the glorious pose as Roode is going to set up for the DDT, and Victor comes in, blindsides Gable, and that distracted Roode for Connor to pick up the win.
But, come on. Gable got some hang time.
Yeah, he did fly there.
He hit hard, too. It looked like it might have hurt a little bit. At least him, not me.
Yeah, so another loss for Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. I feel like this is ultimately probably just going to lead to Bobby turning heel eventually.
I was thinking it's going to lead to Roode and Gable winning.
You would think.
Since they both lost against Connor in the Ascension, they're going to win in the tag match.
Yeah. But they've already beaten them in the tag match, so I don't even get... It's the Ascension. Who cares? Why are we losing to the Ascension? Why couldn't we do this same thing? What if we did this same thing with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, but instead we put the Revival there, and they lose to the Revival? Because at least then you're losing to credible opponents.
So that's true. Yeah.
The Revival aren't exactly credible, but they're more credible than the Ascension.
Come on now, let's just put the B team up in there instead. Roode and Gable against the B team.
Yeah, but then you have the face versus face thing, and plus it's the B team that nobody wants to see.
You do. They're your favorite.
So we transitioned here into a moment of bliss.
I love my moments of bliss.
Yeah, they brought this back. They had this, I believe, going into WrestleMania with the matches with Nia Jax.
Yeah, talking about bullying her and all that.
And there was some gold in there with Alexa talking about how she tried to give her burrito bowl to a homeless person, and then Nia ate it and maniacally laughed.
Yeah,
that was some good stuff. So Bliss goes into this and talks about heroes and says that Trish was her hero, and she talked about meeting Trish Stratus for the first time, and this was something that a lot of people posted, so I'm not really gonna take credit for it, but Alexa says that she was 7 when she met Trish. Trish Stratus debuted in 2000, and
it wasn't that late, was it?
Around there.
I thought for sure it was in the 90s. I would think. Yeah, I might be wrong.
From what I looked at, it said that she debuted in the 2000. Okay. 2000.
Okay, sure.
But nonetheless, Alexa is 27. She was 12 when Trish Stratus debuted. So she was not 7 when she supposedly met her. I guess Alexa forgot how old she is.
You said Bliss is 27?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Okay.
So if you go back 18 to 2000...
It'd be 9 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I might be getting things mixed up because I read this somewhere else and didn't take a note of it. But nonetheless, she was not Seth.
Yeah. She's about as tall as she was now. She was at 7 years old. I mean, what, like 4 foot nothing?
Something like that.
But yeah.
So, after that, we got the aforementioned B team.
Yay, again.
And the Revival come out, but they don't get an entrance because they came out during the commercial. And we get back, and the match has already started. So we didn't even see the beginning of the match or anything.
Which is weird. They don't normally do that.
Yeah, we didn't see the Revival enter. We didn't know that the B team was even going to face the Revival. They were just coming out.
Yeah. Usually, you know, they'll have the teams come out, then go to break, and the music stops when they come back.
Yeah, or at least they'll come back from commercial and the team will be in the ring with their music playing.
Yeah.
And then you start the match after that. But I found it odd that Bo Dallas on the apron as Curtis Axel is being worked over. He keeps doing the B team, go, go, go chants. And you can hear the crowd doing it.
Some of them.
But if you look on what they show on television, on the hard cam, everyone's just standing still.
Yeah.
Sitting on their hands.
So where are these people at that are cheering?
I don't know. I feel like it would be a waste of time to pipe in these cheers. But I don't know. It just seemed odd that everyone in the hard cam was just standing there bored out of their minds.
Yeah, I was.
but somehow someone somewhere was chanting this.
Yeah. You know somebody's always going to chant it. Just because.
But Axel gets worked over for the majority of this match until he finally gets the hot tag to Bo Dallas. And Bo runs wild for a while until the Revival eventually take back control. Then Scott would tag in Dash Wilder. And they would Dash would go to the top rope, and Scott is going to throw him from the top rope to a splash on Dallas. And Bo gets the knees up, rolls up Dash as Curtis Axel on the outside pulls Scott Dawson out of the ring. And that would be your match. The B team win with the roll-up.
But it was, I can't remember which one. It was either Dash or Dawson's birthday, Monday. They announced it during the match.
No, it was Curtis Axel's birthday.
Oh, Axel's? I thought they said Dawson's.
No, they said it was Curtis Axel's birthday.
Hey, well, at least I got the same match.
Yeah. And after this, because AOP comes down and kills the B team.
Thank God.
And Corey said something about that being a birthday present for Axel.
Okay.
So, I do remember that at least.
B team versus AOP at Super Showdown pre-show. 30-second match.
Yeah, AOP needs to just, destroy everyone at this point.
Pretty much. It's going to take a miracle for a team to actually beat them one-on-one, clean.
So we got another Dean Ambrose backstage segment. This time Roman is the one that comes up to talk to Dean. And he just asks him if everything's all right. And, Dean says that he could have beat Strowman. Roman says, well, yeah, but you also could have gotten hurt. And then what does that leave us with on Saturday? And, that I felt like that kind of played into Dean's sort of thing between the Shield is that they're only interested in themselves.
Using him.
Because it portrayed there that Roman only cared because he needs him for the match.
Yeah.
So that was good. And Dean says at the end, if I wasn't such a nice guy, I could be Universal Champion right now.
Yeah.
So.
Which I wouldn't mind seeing again.
Yeah, I'd love it if Dean eventually beats Roman for the title after he turns heel at some point.
Sometime next year, I'm guessing.
But more dissension between the Shield leading into that match. We randomly got Baron Corbin congratulating AOP backstage. They shook hands.
Well, yeah.
Not really much to that. Drake Maverick is the mastermind behind all this.
Where he
pushing
looks
him
like
to the top.
A little kindergartner standing next to Corbin and AOP.
He is very small.
I mean, he is so little.
So we get Dolph, Drew, and Braun backstage, and this is where we actually got some dissension between these three. Is where Dolph says he thinks Ambrose is going to turn on the Shield, have him right where they want him, and Braun says that he would want Dean as a part of this team, and says that he's a winner and he's a tough bastard.
Yeah.
Just not when he's facing him. So he tells Drew that Braun does. He tells Drew he needs to beat Seth tonight, and then he looks at Dolph and says, "We don't have room for weak links."
Yep.
Which kind of made me laugh just because it's Dolph Ziggler, but no weak links.
But yet Ziggler won.
Yeah, or no, Ziggler lost this week.
Oh, did he?
He lost to Roman.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, Dolph is always going to be a weak link.
Could you imagine Dolph and Dean just switching?
You know, that's what I was just thinking. Is like, what if
Dolph goes to the Shield after Dean leaves?
No, what I was thinking is like, what if both Dolph and Dean both leave, and then they form their own team?
Oh.
And then you have a 2 versus 2 versus 2
triple threat tag team.
Yeah.
You'd
have a Braun and Drew versus Seth and Roman versus Dean and Dolph.
I didn't think about that. That would be a good match. But let's face it, Braun and Drew would have the upper hand.
Yeah, that would be a good team in itself.
Oh yeah, be unstoppable.
But I imagine that Dean will probably be a solo act when we get there.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him back on SmackDown.
Yeah,
after WrestleMania when they do the shake-up.
Yeah, they could. I see him staying on Raw though. I think he should.
He should because Renee Young's on Raw.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely part of it.
I know. I'm sure it is.
So sometimes they just like to split them up though.
Yeah,
like they do that with couples a lot. Just put them on opposite brands.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh yeah, you guys are dating. Watch this.
So up next we had Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Rollins started off quick on offense, did his dive, and did some hard-hitting moves right out of the gate on Drew. Eventually Drew would take control with a kick to the ribs and slowed it down a bit. McIntyre hit a sidewalk slam off of the steps onto the apron, which is something I haven't really seen before. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was neat. So Rollins had went for the buckle bomb twice in this match, and he sort of tries to lift him up in the power bomb, but he can't get him up. So eventually Seth goes to the top rope, and it looks like he's probably going to go for the frog splash, but Drew gets up before then and meets Seth on top, and Rollins does the sunset flip into the power bomb.
And he almost dropped him.
I think that's what he wanted it to look like, because it looked like it was a struggle to get him up.
Or maybe he just couldn't get him set right.
Yeah.
He looked. McIntyre's a big boy.
Yeah, but eventually Seth would run to the opposite corner, hit the buckle bomb. I thought that was a cool little thing they did, how they do it with Seth a lot when he faces like bigger guys, is that he won't be able to get him up in a regular power bomb, so what he does is the sunset flip
from the top of the turnbuckle,
and then he's able to get him up because they're already there.
Yeah,
which is actually the move that he injured himself against Kane in a house show. That's where he first had his knee injury, when he did that sunset flip and his knee just gave out.
Wow.
Yeah, but cool stuff with Seth and Drew. This was a good match. I feel like it's only scratching the surface on what those two could do with each other. Drew would go for a reverse Alabama slam, but Rollins rolled him up instead off of this. And Seth would warm up for the stomp, but Ziggler's music hits, and he runs down, gets in the ring. Seth goes for the stomp on Ziggler, or Zogler, as I have in my notes here. That's a typo.
Just Zogler.
But Dolph rolls out, and after that, Seth turns around right into a Claymore kick, and Drew gets the win.
Okay, what's the difference between a Claymore kick and a Brogue kick?
Well, the brogue kick is more like a sort of a bicycle kick sort of thing. The Claymore, it looks more like it's like a running, jumping, just boot.
Okay.
And Drew falls too when he does the Claymore. Sheamus would stay standing, so he gets like a. There are two moves that are similar but different, I guess, in execution.
I was just curious.
I mean, they essentially have the same effects. It's just a
foot to face.
Yeah. So Seth and Dolph and Drew would go for the beatdown on Seth. Roman would come out to even it up. Then Braun would come out, and eventually it sort of had you waiting, like, is Ambrose going to help? Ambrose comes out with an axe handle.
Yeah.
Which, this is the second time that we've seen the Shield use axe handles as weapons. I feel like you're missing the actual weapon parts there.
Well, yeah, but this isn't the Attitude Era, otherwise it'd still be there.
I'd just like to see Dean running down with an axe.
That would be funny. That would be great. Or I'd like to see him, just break one of the little fire cages in the back and steal the axe and just run down to the ring. Make it look good.
But nonetheless, Dean takes out Braun on the outside with the axe handle, and he scares Drew and Dolph to the outside.
Well, he
hit them a couple times.
Well, he got Drew with just in the gut.
Yeah, but they both rolled out.
Yeah.
And Dean would try to go after them, then instead Braun mauled him. And then everyone hit their finishers on the babyfaces.
Yep. And then they all stood there and put their fists out like the Shield.
Yeah, they did. They did the dreaded Shield fist bump.
The Shield fist bump. Yeah.
How disrespectful.
How dare they?
So, Elias and Kevin Owens are backstage.
Oh my god, yeah.
Now, this is before they actually come out, and it's feeding into commercial, and Elias has like a table that I guess is set up for him. And we have Kevin Owens is throwing nuts at a producer because it was supposed to be almonds, and he got him cashews or something. And there was some spinach that Kevin Owens was eating. Unfortunately, it did not turn him into Popeye and for this match. But we have Elias and Owens in the ring, and we do the typical Elias.
This has got to be the longest segment of the whole damn show.
This was hilarious.
I'm over Elias in the ring, on the mic. I'm over it. He's good wrestling, but I'm over this guitar playing, trying to sing crap, making fun of the audience. It's just getting old. Find something new to do.
It's funny for me every time.
Nah. Just
how the crowd initially cheers him until he says something about their hometown, and they're like, "Oh, hey, boo!"
Yeah. It's always the same thing. Just switch it up, do something different once in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it more than you do, but
it seemed like it took forever to fast forward through this.
Oh, don't tell me you fast forward through this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you missed.
Well, I had reasons last night to skip through a bunch.
Right. But there was some hilarity in this.
Well, I know there's once in a while when I stopped, the audience would be laughing or cheering, making noise. So I knew something was going on.
Did you ever miss this? So Elias strums on his guitar for a while. He asks who wants to walk with Elias. Owens raises his hand. They say Cena and Lashley teaming doesn't make sense. And Elias's line here is, it's like having a basketball team in Seattle. And this, of all of the cheap heat that Elias has done, this boo went on for the entire segment.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know what he said, but I noticed nothing but boos afterwards.
Yeah, because, of course, the Seattle Supersonics many years ago moved to Oklahoma City to become the Thunder. And
I didn't know that. I thought they were still in Seattle.
No,
I don't watch basketball ever.
Yeah, and that's something that there are a lot of people in Seattle that are very passionate about basketball, and they don't have a basketball team. And that struck a nerve with them. And
so is it like the same thing as like the Raiders going from LA to Oakland?
Yeah, pretty much. They just moved.
Okay.
And they haven't had a basketball team since then. But this is the loudest boo, and it just went on for the entire segment. And this is where what could have been something really cool was kind of brushed to the side because Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley, or I'm sorry, Kevin Owens and Elias, they have the whole promo scripted out, and they have to follow what they're supposed to do. Now, what they should have done is when they got this reaction is just build off of it instead. And instead they had to go into a whole nother monologue about John Cena, and they did the whole promo on John Cena while the crowd is still booing so heavily that they have to yell into the mic. And, you know, they do their whole promo on John Cena, how he's not around, we can't see him, and all that gubbins.
He's turned into Brock Lesnar.
But the crowd is still booing throughout all this when eventually Lio Rush comes out, and he introduces Bobby Lashley. And again, Lio Rush doesn't play off of the crowd's reaction at all. He just does what he was supposed to do. And what they could have done here is just if you have Elias and Owens continue to build off the heat that they generated, and then eventually like Lio Rush comes out and he plays into that and says like Bobby Lashley is gonna dunk on you guys like Sean Kemp did or something like that. Feed into it.
Yeah.
And that would have turned that heat that they had into a positive reaction for Bobby Lashley, which once they actually got to Bobby Lashley entering and getting into the actual match, which is Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley, the crowd was dead. After all the heat
they spent like
had.
30 minutes listening to Owens and Elias.
Yeah, but they had them, though.
Yeah.
They just didn't build on it.
And then they just dropped it once Lio Rush came out.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that really hurt. Lashley.
Yeah, they definitely could have made this something better if they were allowed to improvise.
They need to do something. They had a nice build-up. And then they just let it go.
So, Lashley versus Owens, there was a funny moment early in this match where Owens has Lashley in like a headlock takedown, and he has Lashley on the mat with the headlock locked in. And Lashley starts to roll him up, but Owens is still on top of Lashley, and his shoulders aren't down. But the ref starts counting, and he goes 1, 2, and Owens rolls back up, and he yells back at the ref, "My shoulders aren't even down."
Yeah.
And Graves and Cole argue because Graves says, "Well, I gotta agree with Owens. I think that referee needs to pay more attention." And Cole was like, "Well, I think he was counting Lashley," and Corey was just like, "No, he wasn't." Then that was just it.
No, I think you got it backwards. I think Cole said that he was counting Lashley.
Yeah, that's what I said, right?
I think you just said Corey.
Cole says that that he thinks he was counting Lashley, and Corey says no, he wasn't. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a funny little something.
So eventually, after this match, that was indeed a match. I'm not sure what else to really say about it, but Elias catches Lio Rush and puts him in a full Nelson.
But watching Lio try and get away from Elias.
Yeah, it's always... this has been a fun little game that Lio Rush has done where he just tries to evade everyone.
Compared to Elias. He's just so damn small.
Yeah.
He just fits in tight crevices and just... he's quick.
So, this distracted Bobby, and Owens gets the schoolboy roll-up for the win.
What a crappy ending.
Yeah. It's the second week in a row, really, that they've just done a match just to have a match without a real finish.
And what's the point?
And with the John Cena and Bobby Lashley against Elias and Owens going into Saturday, I couldn't really care less about it. But nonetheless, the heels beat up on Bobby afterwards, and Leo would try to jump from the top rope to take out Elias, and Elias just swatted him down with both hands. That was kind of cool, I guess.
Well, I mean, he's so small, it doesn't take much.
Yeah, and they just beat on Lashley, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, but I was really thinking Cena would come out and just save his partner, just a surprise.
Yeah,
my God, here's Cena.
Yeah, Corey was pointing that out on commentary that, Lashley's partner isn't here to help him.
Yeah.
So after this led to one of the funniest things of the night is, for one, the views on Mixed Match Challenge are so bad that we had to have Michael Cole teach us how to find it. And they go through a step-by-step process of how to find the Mixed Match Challenge on Facebook.
Wow.
So, but that's not even what I was talking about when I talk about what was freaking hilarious. Is we have Bayley versus Alicia Fox in the Mixed Match Challenge promotional match.
Yeah.
As I've dubbed that last week.
But, I know Fox is a heel. But, man, can she sell the hell out of stuff.
Yeah, she's very good at...
she's good at losing and making it look good.
Yeah. Alright, so what was so hilarious about this, though, was Alicia Fox makes her entrance, and Jinder and Suneil Singh are with her, of course. And Michael Cole says that she's accompanied by Jinder Mahal and Ranjin Singh.
Really?
He called Suneil Singh Ranjin Singh.
Oh, wow.
And this was freaking hilarious. And Corey gives him all the crap in the world he can for that. And Cole covers it up because he says that he just had a conversation with Ranjin Singh beforehand. So he had Ranjin Singh on the mind.
Well, who is Ranjin Singh?
Do you remember Ranjin Singh?
No.
That was the Great Khali's translator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it works because Ranjin Singh, actually, David Kapoor is his real name, is a writer for WWE, so it's fathomable that was actually why Cole said that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But I found that absolutely hilarious. I lost my mind as soon as he called Suneil Singh Ranjin Singh, because on the show all the time we mix up Suneil and Samir all the time.
Yeah.
But I've never called him Ranjin Singh. This made me laugh so much.
Now, are the Singh brothers, are they twins?
I believe so.
Because they really look like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. And they tried to play it off by saying that Ranjin Singh was like their dad or something.
Oh my gosh.
Which obviously he's not.
Any word on the other Singh brother when he's coming back?
I don't know if you saw that he posted Instagram photos a while back, and since his therapy and all that, he's jacked now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's...
So he might make an actual
jacked to the gills. Yeah, he must have done the Jinder Mahal diet. He looks...
steroids and lettuce.
Let's not make any accusations, but...
No, I'm not accusing anybody.
But,
it's all a joke.
Yeah, if you actually watch Jinder on his Instagram, which I see sometimes, is that his diet is just like consistently like egg whites.
Ugh.
Like that's like all the man eats.
God.
So it's not like you can just take roids and just instantly become that. You still have to.
You still got to eat right, work out.
Yeah, and even if he is on something, it's not groundbreaking news that a wrestler uses any sort of enhancements.
Of course not.
And there's stuff that you're allowed to use within the wellness policy and stuff you're not.
Yeah.
But that's a complete sidebar. But anyway, we had Bayley against Alicia Fox. This was basically a rerun of the match with Finn Balor and Jinder Mahal from last week.
Yeah, just opposite.
Yeah, Jinder tried to trip Bayley. Bayley hit him with a baseball slide, and then Finn came in with a sling blade to Jinder on the floor. Bayley hit a Bayley to belly to Alicia for the win.
Which was not very good looking.
No, she didn't get up high.
She barely lifted her.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because Bayley's so much shorter than Fox, but she barely got her off the ground.
Yeah, well, that's always... Alicia's got to get up higher.
Yeah, she needs to jump more.
Yeah, she's got to help her out on that. But a belly-to-belly suplex is always like a flat finish for me anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
I wish she'd come up with something
like a leg drop. How's it really going to finish somebody?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're Hulk Hogan and you have the leg made of steel or concrete that puts everyone away.
She used to do an elbow. I haven't seen her do an elbow.
Yeah, she did used to do the elbow. And
I could see that being a finisher off the top rope.
Yeah, and she hasn't done it in a while. I'm not sure if it was something with, like... Because there was the story when Kairi Sane came in, and allegedly, and this ended up being wrong, was that they told her not to do the elbow drop anymore because we already have enough people doing elbow drops right now. And Kairi Sane still does the elbow drop, and she has
makes it look good.
She has the best elbow drop of all time.
Yeah.
So maybe like the reverse happened, and they just didn't want Bayley to do it because they wanted to save that for Kairi Sane when she gets called up eventually.
Well, I mean, no one really does an elbow for a finisher anymore.
No, not as a finish, definitely.
Or
not.
Even just in a match, they really don't do it very often.
Yeah. But out next, we did have someone who used to do a nice elbow drop. Shawn Michaels.
Yes, HBK.
Shawn Michaels is out for the main event, and he cuts the promo, and he says he intended on going to Melbourne purely as a fan.
I call bold, but okay.
He said that he pried open his wallet and bought front row tickets and got everything ready.
I'd like to see the receipt.
Yeah.
I want to see where it said he paid for it.
I wonder if he sold them now or something.
Yeah, for real.
Shawn Michaels, the scalper.
he's part of the match now, so he don't need them, so he made profit.
You just see him outside the arena selling his tickets on your way in.
He's got Hornswoggle out there.
So Shawn talks about how he wanted to just be there ringside or whatever, but Undertaker made it personal. He warns Kane not to get involved, says that he'll super kick him if he does, and as soon as he does that, we get Kane.
Yes, we haven't seen him for a while.
Yep. Not since he was with Daniel Bryan.
And it's been, what?
A few months. I think it was
3-4 months.
I think maybe it was
longer.
No, it was after Backlash. Whatever the pay-per-view after Backlash was, I think. Maybe.
So about 4 or 5 months.
Whenever. Nonetheless, we have Mayor Kane. Mayor Demon Kane.
Mayor Demon Kane.
And Kane doesn't enter through the front like Michaels is ready for him. Because you see Michaels, with the years of experience he had, he did not expect Kane to appear behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's always what happens. And Kane comes in right behind Shawn, and when he turns around, gives him a right uppercut. And after this, the gong hits, and Taker appears in the ring as well.
If you look, when the lights go out, you can actually see Taker come into the ring.
See, I try not to look for that stuff.
I don't try to look for it. It just appears.
I don't want to ruin the magic.
Well.
He appeared in that ring. That's all we know, for sure.
Okay, I didn't know you were 12. Okay.
So Undertaker's magic powers get him in the ring. And eventually Triple H comes in to try to even the odds, trying to take out both of them. Eventually the numbers catch up with him. Kane and Undertaker hit stereo choke slams to the two. It's been a while since we've seen the nice double choke slam.
Yes.
And Taker, they went to leave, but Triple H is starting to make it up to his feet. So Taker comes back in, and he hits Triple H with the tombstone. And Undertaker and Kane would go up the ramp. They'd do their look back and then fist thing that they do.
Now, is it me or does Kane put on some weight?
It's very.
He looks a little bit bigger in the gut than he did before.
Yeah. I remember. I think the time before last he came back, he looked like he was in better shape, but now it looks like he's definitely a little more.
You can tell he's a politician now.
Yeah, I mean he's transitioning to the political scene, so he doesn't have to be Kane anymore, at least on a frequent basis.
No, but you still want to keep in shape if you're going to ever be Kane.
Yeah, but he's a busy guy. Maybe he just doesn't have time.
He's the mayor of Knox County. Well, I guess he will be anyway, when they vote next month.
I thought he was already.
Well, I thought the elections weren't till November.
No,
I thought he just won the primary.
No, he won the whole thing.
Okay. I didn't think they voted yet. So he's the mayor of Knox County. And you're telling me he can't find 20, 30 minutes a day to go to a gym?
I'm not going to stress too much on it.
I'm not either.
It's still Kane.
But it was fun because I was in Knox County when I evacuated for the hurricane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was right outside Knoxville, which is the edge of Knox County.
Huh.
Just a fun little fact that I thought was cool.
You didn't sit in on a board meeting with Kane or anything?
No, I didn't want to go to Knoxville. There's too many people.
But that was the end of Raw. And, that was a good go-home segment. The crowd was really into this. It was just old-school wrestling, really. Just a nice go-home build to the pay-per-view. And it really worked so much because people are invested in Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kane.
Yeah.
They're all big characters.
Old-time characters.
And it's unfortunate that we can't get this sort of feeling for many people on the roster now. But eventually the nostalgia runs out.
Well, you have to look, the people watching Undertaker, Kane, HBK, Triple H, they were more than likely they watched them during Attitude Era when they made a name for themselves.
Yeah.
Now the nostalgia comes
before that in the 90s too.
Yeah. Some of them. So, I mean, give it time. Some of the current stars will have the legacy that these do.
I don't know. I feel like we should be using these guys more to help the guys that need it.
Use them as jobbers?
Not really as jobbers, but just to help get someone else over. Like Undertaker is working with Triple H right now.
Again, for the last time.
Yeah, for the last time. There are plenty of newer guys that could have used a match with him, I guess. But,
even at a loss, a match against The Undertaker is great on your record.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want
I guess he did have the match with Rusev.
But, well, is that what that was?
Yeah. It was kind of a match, I guess.
Well, the bell rang twice. I guess that's a match.
Yeah. Other than that, though, pretty good show, I thought. And so I gave this a say B-.
It's gonna be hard for me to give it a grade because, I mean, I had to miss a lot of the non-wrestling. But from what I saw, I'd say I'd give it a good B+, or solid B to B+, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
For a go-home show,
pretty fun stuff.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Furthered the storyline with the Shield and everyone there.
Which I'm glad.
The Triple H and Undertaker stuff was good.
Yeah, they keep saying last time ever. Now, are they going to start saying, it's been building up for 20 years or something like that?
The funny thing is that they ignore they never mentioned the first match between Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania. God, I can't remember
what year. Was that the one in the cage?
No, the one, they had the two at 27 and 28, I think. But there was one 10 years before that. I think.
Way back.
It was just a singles match. It might have been WrestleMania X7. I can't.
Well, X7 was a big WrestleMania.
Yeah, I can't entirely remember. But they had a singles match, and Undertaker won. But they never bring that one up.
Maybe nothing major happened.
Yeah, but it's just more.
Well, X7 that was also before they had the stature that they do now.
Yeah, That's true.
I mean, that's almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So they, like the Undertaker, I think he debuted in the early 90s. I think.
Survivor Series 1992.
Yeah, so X7 was around 97, 98. So he was only there, 6 years.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be much to talk about compared to now.